Yesterday, the president called on Gaddafi to step down. The United Nations imposed a new set of stiff sanctions, and the death toll there now stands at over 1,000. In addition, a UN refugee agency says as many as 100,000 people have fled the country. Kelly Cobeilla is in the capital city of Tripoli, and Alan Pizzi is on the western border in Tunisia. We go first to Kelly.
Well, Bob, it's the start of the work week here in Tripoli, and instead of flocking to jobs, people were going to banks. They've been getting messages from the government saying that there's a $400 gift waiting for them, and they've been very quick and very happy to collect. The government says this is part of their effort to show that they're listening to their people and answering some of their demands. They also say that they're giving some raises to state employees. Now, we've seen a very heavy police and security presence throughout Tripoli. Every time we pulled out our camera to film, within seconds, there was a police car next to us, a car with soldiers next to us, all asking us if we had permission. We also saw men in plain clothes working alongside some of these police and soldiers and carrying automatic weapons. It's not clear if they're civilians or if they're just police officers in plain clothes at this point. Gaddafi did make a promise on, or a threat, as you may see it, on Friday night, that he would begin to arm civilian supporters. And we hear that that actually did happen yesterday, and some residents in some of the neighborhoods have said that these armed civilian militias are going through the streets, patrolling the streets, keeping order. Now, most of Tripoli is under Gaddafi's control. We've heard sporadic gunfire at night, but nothing sustained, and seen no sign of widespread violence or clashes.
Kelly, is there any sign that the opposition to Gaddafi is backing off?
There is no sign at all that the opposition is backing off, and no sign that they're marching on the city either. We've heard many reports from outside of the city that something to that effect would happen, that these enemies of Gaddafi were closing in. Aside from a couple of neighborhoods within this city where people are openly defiant of Gaddafi, we've seen really no sign of the opposition making inroads into Tripoli.
Kelly Cobeilla. Kelly, thank you so much. CBS News correspondent Alan Pizzi is on the western border with Tunisia. Alan, what's the latest there?
Well, Bob, the refugees continue to stream across here. Most of them are Egyptians. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees says at least 50,000 people have come into Tunisia since the troubles broke out in Libya about 8 days ago. Nearly 45,000 of them came across this particular border crossing. Many of them are Egyptians. They tell you stories of being robbed. Other ones say they had no trouble, but they have no idea who's at the checkpoints. One guy said, everybody's got a uniform, everybody's got a gun. I don't know who they are. I'm just glad to be out. Now, the problem here is that the Tunisians want them to keep moving. They don't want to get a refugee camp built up here, but there's so many coming that the pipeline is beginning to jam up. Yesterday, there was a lot of almost violence here at the border as these people got across, tired, scared, desperate to keep moving on. And that's calmed down now, but the problem is that they're stuck in Tunisia and the Egyptians aren't being able to get them out. And so there is a refugee crisis building here, Bob.
All right. Alan Pizzi, thank you so much, Alan. And one other bit of news, Senators John McCain and Joe Lieberman, who are in the region, called today for the United States to arm the rebels in that fight going on in Tripoli.